Not only will this skin secret help you achieve your skin goals, but it may help you achieve some weight goals too. My name is Jentri, by the way. I'm a seasoned beauty professional and licensed esthetician living here in Austin, Texas. Please like and subscribe to my beauty channel if you like this type of information, and remember to set that notification bell. I wanted to share with you the secret because no one is talking about this in the skincare world. And I think it's mostly because we're always obsessed with the latest and greatest topicals we can put on our skin. It's fun, it's sexy, it feels good. But there's something that we are forgetting that makes us age faster than anything else, and that is sugar. But before you roll your eyes, I'm going to go into why the consumption of sugar makes you age so fast and what you can actually do about it. There's a little something called glycation, and that happens when you spike those blood sugar levels, and it affects your insulin, and it puts stress on your entire body, and that leads to inflammation. It also accelerates the aging process. So not only can it affect your skin, like it may cause eczema or acne or deeper wrinkles, but it seriously just makes you age faster. So what are some ways that we can avoid this altogether? And what are some easy skin hacks that you can do if you don't want to give up your sugar like me? I'm a self-proclaimed sugar addict. I cannot tell a lie. It is the biggest struggle in my life. When I was a young gal, I literally quit smoking. It took me 3 times to quit the habit, but I did quit smoking on my own. At some point in my late 20s, I believe, I decided that I did not want to drink anymore. So I stopped drinking. Literally, the only thing left that I feel like is really hurting my body is sugar. The one thing I feel like I have the hardest time giving up. And it's not as though I drink the sodas and things like that, because I don't, but I am guilty of wanting it in my coffee. So it's literally going into my bloodstream first thing in the morning. And then of course that addiction carries on throughout the day, even if it's in small amounts. So here are a few tips. Let's just dive right in. The first tip is, instead of eating those small little meals throughout the day like I like to do, that often consist of things like carbs or sugary foods or drinks, it's a good idea to keep it to 3 meals a day. Trust me, this is a very hard one for me. I have not fully accomplished it, but that is one way that you can help your body out a little bit. Another way is to avoid putting that sugar into your system right when you wake up. So if you are used to having a sugary beverage or a sugary breakfast, maybe do something like have a savory breakfast, or sub that coffee with a healthy protein drink that you actually enjoy. Now we're talking mostly about skincare here, right? And glycation. But there's nothing scarier than having yourself or a loved one be confronted with diabetes. One of my best friends in the world has diabetes, and my mother has even struggled with it herself, getting it under control. So the struggle is real, and that's also a reason that I felt inspired to share this with you today, because doing these little hacks, making these little adjustments, not only can improve the quality of your skin and maybe even clear up some skin conditions that you've had for a while or been struggling with, but it can also improve the overall quality of your health. This next hack was actually brought to you by my partner, Alex. He's the Italian in a couple of the videos with me. One day, Alex said, well, why don't you just have less of it? And I really took that to heart. So whether it's sugar in my coffee, or whether it's having half of a donut or 1 donut versus 2+ donuts, I just eat a little bit less of it whenever I want to indulge. Just remember, molecularly, your body doesn't know the difference between table sugar, honey, and maple syrup, all the things that we've come to believe are healthier versions of sugar. While there may be some micro differences, nutrients involved in other sugars besides table sugar, your body receives it the same. The only exception really is when you're eating fruit, and that's because you're actually eating the fiber with the fruit. This next tip literally changed my life. I was listening to a podcast on Marie Forleo, and there was a doctor giving tips about aging. And he mentioned the order, the way you want to eat things. And that is consuming your fiber first and saving the carbs and sweets for the end of the meal. He said, for instance, when he goes out to have a nice meal, he will ask them to wait and bring the bread at the end instead of getting filled up on the bread and then going into the entree. He also said he refuses for them to bring the dessert to the table. I'm not sure I'm that disciplined yet, but he said that way he's not tempted. And I most certainly can relate to that, because I know if I get whatever it is I want in the grocery store that I know is not great and put it in the pantry, I will not be able to likely resist the will. So I'm better off just resisting it in the grocery store in the first place. I've also been reading a book called The Glucose Goddess Method. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it, especially if you've been struggling with any of the things that I've mentioned today. The author wonderfully and easily explains how glucose can affect a lot of the things that we've been talking about today. And she even mentions the consumption of oat's milk, which I am in love with. And I was so disappointed to become more aware or conscious of the fact that when I am drinking my oat's milk, I am actually drinking a starchy water, basically. By the way, I will put all of this information, these resources of where I've gotten this information about glucose down in the description below. But she gave a great tip, and it was to introduce a veggie starter, which I thought was so clever. And that is just creating some type of veggie starter in advance that has those fibers in it, whether it's the cherry tomatoes or squash or green beans, whatever it is, or a traditional salad. Having it ready in advance so that you can eat that before you eat your meal, so that your food is processed better and you don't have those types of spikes. The more you know, the more you glow. Ciao for now.